anyone. So Lacey, first let's ask you, how did all of this start? What happened?
Well, I met Goldie in 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yes, that's when I first met Goldie. Okay. And then we lost contact, and then I'd never heard from her again, and I'd met Kevin.
You met Kevin when you were how old?
At the end of 8th grade.
Okay.
And I did not know anything about him and Goldie. I hadn't talked to Goldie for like a year and a half. And then Kevin had asked me out. So I went out with him for like a week and a half.
Yeah, these high school romances go on a long time, don't they?
I know, real long.
Real commitment, a week and a half, okay?
And then after that, I started getting phone calls.
Now wait, you went out with him only for a week and a half. Was there any sex? No. Nothing involved, just a guy you went out with for a week and a half?
I kissed him twice.
After you broke up, or whatever the teenage phrase was at that time, what happened? You started getting phone calls.
Yeah, she started calling me. And then she thought I was at my cousin's house, and her and another girl went and maced her like through the window because they thought I was over there. And then they've tried setting me up before at like parties and stuff. They went and tried having my best friend set me up.
What does set me up?
Like they'll invite me over, and she'll have somebody else invite me over somewhere. And then I'll find out, like, I won't go there and stuff because I really don't trust it. Then I'll find out, like, that night or the next day that Goldie was there with, like, 3 or 4 other girls, and she was going to beat the shit out of me and all this other stuff.
Uh-huh. Aside from the language, so set me up means beat me up. Now, you're accusing her of stalking. You understand?
Yes.
You understand what the word stalking means?
Obviously she calls.
It means.
When do I call you? I don't even have your number. I don't even know where you live.
Right. You've known where I've lived for the last 5 years.
All right, wait, Goldie, hold on a minute. Lacey, I'm asking you, do you know what stalking is?
Yeah, I think stalking
it's an obsessive.
She has been bothering me for the last 5 years. She's came after me so many times.
When you're about to be 15-year-old little Michelle Bates up, beat someone up your own size, pig.
Oh my God! Please.
You don't beat up little girls.
I don't beat up little girls.
Goldie, hold on.
All right. This little girl
15 years old.
I had a broken leg. She came up, kicked me a broken leg.
Oh, did she? Your leg wasn't even broken then. Why are you lying?
Yeah, you can ask Stacy. I had a big brace on.
All right, now
there.
wait. Give me point by point what you mean by stalking.
She used to call me all the time. I'd hear from her cousins and from all her friends what she was going to do to me when she finds me, how she's going to put me in the hospital.
How often would she call you?
I was getting phone calls. God, at first, it was every single day I'd get at least 5 phone calls a day from different people.
All right, 5 phone calls a day for how long?
From all different people.
For how long?
Because you screwed my
You were not going out, because if I would have known you were going out, I would not.
Why do you bother with him? Look at how many times he's cheated on you.
I'm 6 and a half months pregnant, and I gotta watch my back because of you.
Oh,
you know what?
Yes, I do.
You know what? We can't hear and we can't understand.
Yeah, you cheated me.
Yeah. Tina, you say that Goldie stalked you so much and made you so afraid you've left town. Is that correct?
Yes, I moved to Minnetonka because of you.
Because of me.
Because of you.
What did I do to you?
You do. Yes, I slept with your boyfriend.
You screwed my boyfriend when I was 4 months pregnant, and you were a prostitute.
Oh yeah, I was just so much a prostitute.
I want to ask Tina and Lacey, if they're so afraid of Goldie, why didn't you get a restraining order? And I think we have some pretty serious questions to ask you. This all appears like 8th grade high school stuff. It does not appear to me to be what I think of as stalking. Is very terrorizing. Somebody coming after you in a car, as Goldie said, in the middle of the night, calling. It seems to me that this could be harmless stuff.
Yes.
Is it harmless, or is this serious stuff?
This is the beginning of an extraordinarily dangerous set of events. Stalking very, very often begins with bullying, begins with jealousy, begins with mild obsessions, beating people up, curse words, and it escalates to, well, it's out of control, and people develop an abnormal ongoing fixation to hurt and humiliate the other person.
So these 2 or 3 young ladies, if something isn't done to stem what I consider this silly bullying business, then that can be a major we can read about them
There's no
You know,
question about it. As a matter of fact, you pick up the newspaper and you read about deaths from stalking, and very often they began with these kinds of bullying experiences.
All right, I'm going to ask you to wait with us and watch, and I'll come to you from time to time and get some advice. And I need some now with Christy and her mother, Rebecca. Christy and her mother are joining us today in shadow and by satellite from an undisclosed location. Now that sounds kind of hokey, doesn't it? Oh, in the dark, you know, in satellite. Well, it isn't hokey. Christy's ex-boyfriend is stalking her, and she's terrified that her appearance on the show will drive him over the edge into a deadly rage. Christy says that when she broke up with him a little over a year ago, he went off the deep end. Christy, what is off the deep end? What kinds of things did he start doing to you after the breakup?
First of all, he started parking outside my house. His friends would drive him there. He'd start looking in through my bedroom windows, watching me constantly, making murder threats by calling on the phone or coming up to my door and talking to me personally. I'd go inside and change after school, and he'd make a call saying, "Oh, well, I liked your hair better up or down," however I had opposite, and what I was wearing, like, "I liked the sweater you were wearing better before."
How did
Why don't
he
you go
know
put
what
that back
sweater
on?
you were wearing before, Christy?
He watches me. He used to go out, when I'd go out for lunch,
How does he watch your bedroom? Does he? What kind of telescopic equipment would he need?
he would stand outside the window or park the car where he could.
For over a year by a boy. In her case, she says she didn't even go out with him, so she doesn't understand why he's torturing her this way. Crystal, how did it start?
Well, we were talking, we were just friends, and he'd come over to visit me. Well, before school started, we decided that we didn't want to talk because it was a new school. And we wanted to meet new people, and we didn't want to.
But you weren't boyfriend or girlfriend, you
No.
didn't go out on a date. You were talking, the rights of teenagers today confound me. You're talking to somebody and you made a pact not to talk? You've lost me.
We decided not to see each other as much as we were. I guess he didn't like the fact that I didn't want to be tied down to him. I wanted to be with my other friends. And I think he got a little jealous, maybe. And he started some rumors about me that were totally untrue. First, he told people that I was pregnant by him, which there was no way that I could be.
9 months go by and that's it.
Well, 6 or 7 months had went past, and people were still saying this, and I wasn't showing it all, so people just dropped it. Well, then he started saying that I had AIDS to see if he could get it started again. So he didn't like the fact that I wasn't going along with what he was saying, so he had people tell me that they were going to kill me and beat me up, and he himself come up to me and told me that if I did not go along with what he said and I did not tell the truth, then he'd kill me himself. Well, then he had one of his friends, a girl from my school, beat me up because I wouldn't go along with them still after a couple weeks of the rumor. She beat me up and I had 2 black eyes.
19, when she was 17, she was stalked by a guy that she barely knew. She says he terrified her so much now she just can't trust anyone. Tara, how did he stalk you? What did he do?
First, it started out with the phone calls. He would call my parents all time of the night and tell them that he wanted me, and we went to the cops, and the cops wouldn't do nothing. They just told them to let me talk to him. Maybe it'll leave him alone or whatever, get him away from me.
Let me talk to him, maybe he'll go away. Dr. Barry, is that good police advice?
It's absurd.
Absurd,
Absurd.
okay? What police department was that?
Newfane, New York.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of police towns that might not want to visit. So did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him, and that made matters worse.
Of course.
He started calling more, and he was the kind of guy that wouldn't take no for an answer. I know other people that knew him, and he would beat up on his old girlfriends, and every time I would tell him, no, I don't want nothing to do with you, stay away, he would start getting really angry.
Exactly what happened to my next guest. This is Vicky, and for support, her sister Rhonda. In July of this year, Vicky's 17-year-old daughter Mindy was brutally murdered by an ex-boyfriend who'd been stalking her. Now, Vicky, you've heard the stories the young girls have told today, and what happened to your daughter is, of course, the worst thing imaginable. Do you fear that what happened to her could happen to somebody else?
Most definitely, and it can also happen a lot quicker than what you think, or it could go on for a long period of time before it happens.
Our condolences. Are you strong enough to tell us the story?
I can try.
Okay. You want me to come down and stand closer to you? Tell me what happened.
Mindy was dating this boy for 2 years, and she felt that she loved him and they were going to get married. And
She was how old when she started? 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And when she turned 17, they were planning on getting married in July of this year. And they wanted to get an apartment together, and so I allowed her to do that, hoping that she would find that that's not the relationship she wanted.
Why? Did you have suspicions about him?
Oh, definitely. He had assaulted a member of my household, and we had reported it to the police last November, and he was banned from our house. And she was supportive of, you know, how I felt and my wishes. And
So you thought, I'll let her do what she wants, and as a good mother, she'll come too. She'll see that this is not right.
The school describes her as very intelligent, mature, and that's the way I felt. I had a lot of faith in her to see
Okay.
that that's not the relationship she wanted. So after she moved in with him, and within a short period of time, the wedding was canceled. And 3 weeks after she moved back home, he had been leaving her letters, wanting to write her poetry, you know, the undying love type scenario, calling her, and she was trying to make him understand why she didn't want to be in the relationship. Unfortunately, she was successful, that he finally did believe that it was over, and that was when he murdered her.
How did that happen?
He, on a Sunday night, I work at a police department, and I was at work. I supervise a 911 center.
My God.
And my county is the adjoining county and where I live, and I called them and told them that she was on a date. She came home.